So for the modified version, you will need, or you might need, two like blocks like this, or you can use books, you know, so if you've got some thick books that you could have instead, then that's good. Okay, so get your books and your mat together, and I will meet you on the mat in a moment. Okay, so you'll need to put your, if you want to use some blocks, have them with the high side up like that, at the just at the front and the sides of the mat like that, and we're going to come and stand in between the blocks here. Okay, so we start off in Tadasana. So this is the modified version. We're starting off in Tadasana. So take a look down at your feet and make sure that they're sort of hip width apart. So they're directly underneath your hips, pointing forwards. Have a little roll back of the shoulders just to make sure that you're standing up nice and tall. Maybe give your hands a little bit of a wiggle, and then we are just going to be here for a moment. Beautiful. So we're going to bend the knees slightly, take the arms out beside the body, coming up and overhead. And then from here, we're going to bend the knees, coming down, and bring the hands all the way down. So the knees are coming down and just coming down to where you reach. You might not be able to reach the ground, in which case you can put your hands on your blocks. If you can reach the ground, that's great. Nice bent knees, letting the head flop. And then we're going to inhale, straighten the legs a little bit, coming up into a flat back. And then exhaling down. So from here, we're going to come up slightly and we're going to take the right foot back. So taking the right foot back, and then this brings you into a high lunge. So if you're finding it difficult to keep your hands down, you can have your hands on your blocks here, taking a moment here. And then we're going to rise up and bring the hands onto that front knee. If you're a bit wobbly, you can always have a chair or something to hold on to there. So I've got my hands on the front knee. From here, I'm going to rise my arms up overhead. And then I'm going to come down and I'm going to bring my hands either onto the blocks or onto the floor if this feels good. So from here, we're going to come back into the dog. So from here, you can either put your back knee down and then bring the other knee back and then come up into the dog. Or if you can do it from this position, be careful if you've got your hands on the blocks or the books. If they feel quite steady like mine do, then that's fine. Or you might want to bring your hands onto the floor, and we're just going to bring the foot back. So it might be that you have to do this a bit to bring the foot back and coming back into the dog. 3 breaths here. So just breathing in and out through the nose. So then on the 3rd exhale, we're going to walk the hands a little bit further forward and we're going to come into the plank. So you can either just stay in the plank here, or if you want to come into a little up dog, you drop the hips, not too much, and take the gaze upwards. And then we're going to come back up into the dog again. So we're going to just coming just into whichever dog position you can do. And then from here, we're going to walk the hands back, so bending the knees, walking the hands back to meet the feet. And then we're going to come up with a nice straight back, coming up to a kind of T shape here. And then from here, we're going to take the same foot as we brought back, we're going to take it forward, taking it back into the high lunge, but the opposite way round now. And then from here, we're going to bring the hands down onto the blocks or onto the floor. And we've got this front leg bent at the moment. So we're going to take it back. So you can take your hands onto your blocks, take your body back, straightening this leg, coming into the pyramid. And then from here, we're going to bend the back leg, stepping forward. And we're doing our nice forward bend and coming up into a flat back. And exhaling down. And then we're going to bring the arms all the way around, coming up to touch above. Lovely. So that was the first side. So I'm going to do it again on the other side a little bit faster. Okay. So inhaling, arms coming up above the head. Exhaling, bending the legs, coming down into Uttanasana. Inhaling up to the flat back. Exhaling down. So now we're going to take the left leg back and coming up onto the blocks, if that's helpful, into the low lunge. Then we're going to bring hands onto that front knee, coming up into a high lunge. Then arms coming up and overhead. And then the hands are going to come down either onto the blocks or onto the floor. If you can step back into the dog, then that's great. 3 breaths here. So if you're having a bit of a job getting back, don't worry, you've got this time, this 3 breaths here to get back. So on the third exhale, taking the hands a little bit further forward and coming into the plank. And only if you want to, dipping the hips a little bit up into the up dog. And then exhaling, coming back into the dog. A breath here before we then walk backwards with the feet, coming up into a T shape. Then the same foot coming forward into our high lunge here. And then we're going to come down, hands either onto the pyramid or onto the blocks or onto the floor before we then come back into the pyramid. And then skipping forward, we're coming up to a flat back. Exhaling down and then arms coming up and over the head. Beautiful. So I'm going to do it once more on each side, a bit faster with a few less cues. Okay, so rising up on the inhale, exhaling forward, inhaling flat back, exhaling down, right leg back. You can inhale here and then rising up. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands down. Coming back into the dog. 3 breaths here. Then on the third exhale, taking the hands forward, coming into the up dog if that suits you. Exhale, back into the dog. And walking the hands back to the feet. Inhaling, coming up to the T shape. Exhaling, stepping forward with the same foot. And then we're going to come down and into the pyramid. So straightening that front leg. Exhaling, coming forward. Inhaling up into the flat back. Exhaling down. And inhaling all the way up, hands together in front of the heart. So the last time on the other side I'm going to do it, I'm not going to say anything, I'm just going to do it, okay?
Okay, so if you've enjoyed doing the modified version of the Sun Salutation and you would like to try the full version, then I'm going to do it now so you can do it with me. So we're going to start in the same position at the front of the mat, but you don't need any blocks. Okay, so just getting into your nice comfortable Tadasana position, and then we're going to inhale, raising the arms up, and exhaling down. So the first bit is the same, inhaling up into the flat back, exhaling down, right leg back, and from here we're going to put that knee down. Breathing in, coming in, exhaling, lunging forward and bringing the hands down to the sides. Inhaling up, exhaling down, and this is where we're going to take the foot back into the dog. 3 breaths here. So on the third exhale, you bring your knees down, looking between the thumbs, inhaling. Exhaling, we're going to take chin, chest, down and through, and then either coming up into the cobra, or if you want to lift the knees, you can come up into up dog, tucking the toes, coming back up into the dog. Then from here we're going to raise the right leg, and this is the difficult bit, is bringing that leg through. So just see how you do here. Then we're going to inhale back into the pyramid, exhaling, jumping forward with the other leg, up into a flat back, exhaling down, inhaling, arms coming up, and exhaling in front of the heart. Beautiful. So we'll do it on the other side. Inhaling, arms up, exhaling down. Inhaling up into a flat back, exhaling down. Left foot back, left knee down. Inhaling up, exhale, lunging forward, arms down by the sides of the body. Inhaling, arms up, exhaling down. Jumping back into the dog. 3 breaths here. And exhaling, knees down. Inhaling, looking between the knees. Exhaling, coming through up into either the up dog or the cobra. Exhaling, tucking the toes back into the dog. Then we're going to raise the left leg. I find this much harder on this time. In this way I have to help my leg through, coming through. Inhaling back into the pyramid. Exhaling. Inhaling up into a flat back. Exhaling down and inhaling, hands coming all the way up and down in front of the heart. Beautiful. I'm going to take my glasses off because they're getting steamy. So I'm going to do it once more on each side, and I'm not going to talk. So you can just go along and do it with me. Okay. Beautiful. So last time on the left leg. Fantastic.